10,000 artists and photographers now over the course of that entire time. We have a little bit over 10,000 customers at Art Storefronts. I get to see all their data, not only on who's selling what prices, this, that, and the other, but also like where did their traffic come from that actually led to these sales. What I've come to realize in all of that is there's only three viable ways to make it today as an artist, photographer who wants to sell their creations. Only three. And let's talk about the three. And to give it some teeth, let's just say a successful art business, I know everyone's definition of that is a little bit different, right? But for the sake of argument, let's just say a successful art business is an art business in which you have gross sales of $100,000 a year, right? Sounds like a lofty number, fine, but let's just say that. So, okay, there's only three ways to get there. Number one way, the way that everyone on this call would prefer to do, get into a gallery where all you have to do is create and they do everything else. That sounds awesome, right? Okay, let's work those numbers through. You're in a gallery, you're doing $100,000 a year in gross sales. The gallery takes 50%. So that means at the end of the day, you get $50,000 back. And because it's gross sales, then you have to subtract your studio, your materials, your trips, your tripods, your lenses, all of that, and maybe you're left with $35,000. Hardly a living wage. Let's make that picture a little bit rosier. And by the way, the number of artists that are in that situation that are selling $100,000 a year in a gallery is probably less than 1 or 2% of the total artists and photographers that are out there trying to sell their art and photography. Let's make that picture a little bit rosier, and let's say $300,000. Okay, let's triple it in gross sales a year in a gallery. And with the aforementioned 50% haircut, 150, okay, you're making 100 grand a year. That's fantastic. That's less than 1%, probably less than 0.2% of artists and photographers out there. So in terms of like a viable path forward, the way that I like to explain making it in a gallery is to have that level of success that way as an artist or photographer is kind of like playing a sport versus being a professional athlete. How many people do you know play a sport? How many professional athletes do you know, right? Like the odds are just not fantastic. And the real death knell to the gallery model is you guys are all going to be artists and photographers for the rest of your life. I routinely get people on these calls in their 90s still trying to sell their art, which is amazing. And you realize it's the long game. Wherever you are, you have a ton of time left, right, to do this, God willing, of course. If you don't know who's purchasing your art and you can't market to them for the rest of your life, you don't have the ability to develop collectors. Collectors are folks that'll come back and keep buying from you again and again and again, year after year after year. And it's the lifeblood of any art business. In the gallery model, you don't know because the gallery doesn't tell you who purchases. It's important to state that, important to understand that. All right, let's table the gallery model for a sec. Next is to become a road warrior. A road warrior is someone that does anywhere from 25 to 45 shows a year. The fairs, the shows, the farmers markets, the thises, the that's, and you are loading that car up, setting up the booth. Sometimes it's a dud, sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's inclement weather. You're away from your family, you're 8 hours a day on your feet. It is not easy, it's hard. That being said, totally viable path to get there. If I was an artist myself and I was like looking back at my life and I wanted to give my like 20-year-old self some advice, okay, Emma, talking to you, you're the young one here, it would be like, don't have wife, don't have a significant other, don't have kids, don't have a mortgage. And if you have any of those things, it's just a generalization. You're the young one and I'm looking at you. So go and do that when you're young. Because if you can do that when you're young, when you don't have the aforementioned significant other and kids and soccer games on Saturdays and a mortgage, that's when you're the freest to be able to do that. And it's totally a viable path. Like I've got multiple customers that are in their 50s and 60s that did it for years and years and years. One guy I think of, this guy, Bill Stidham, 175,000 miles on his van in 6 years that he just used for his art shows. I mean, he hit it hard. You know what that guy has now? Healthy 6-figure-a-year business, and he barely does any shows anymore because he built up the list, he built up a customer base, he built up collectors. The third way, okay, is what everybody really, truly has to do. It's what you want to do, which is, I know I'm not going to get into a gallery. I know I'm not doing the show and fair circuit. That's just too much. I can't be that road warrior. So I want to sell direct. I want to understand who's purchasing my work. And it's totally a viable path. It's what we advocate. Here's the rub, though. You have to market your own art. You have to market your own art. There is no one that is going to market it for you. And for some people, that is a painful thing to hear. For most artists and photographers, it's a painful thing to hear, but it's true. Anyone that's been in this business for any period of time knows that you guys are all sold a bill of goods that somehow an artist or a photographer's vocation is just to create this amazing thing and everything else just happens, and nothing could be further from the truth. You have to get good and understand that marketing yourself is just as important a job as creating what you create. And the sooner you come to terms with that, the way better your life becomes. Why? Because there's never been a better time in the history of the world to do it. Not even close. I mean, for those of us that are older and remember the days before these things existed and before social networks with hundreds of millions of people worldwide were on their phones all day long, do you know how hard it was? Do you know how much harder it was? You were geographically fixed on the planet somewhere, and that's where you started, and that's what you had. You had to grind way harder. Now, if you take your marketing vocation seriously, if you're like, I'm going to get good at this, if you realize that your art business is essentially 2 trains on 2 tracks. Train number 1, your art, your craft, your creations, your subject matter material, your brush, your lens, how good you get with all of that. That train has its own path, and it will go throughout the rest of your career. You want to get better at it. You want to make sure that train has no brakes. The other one is how good you get at marketing yourself, and you need to treat it seriously, and you need to turn it into an art form. And if you understand those 2 things, that is the path that artists and photographers get on, will become successful, will have a business that is growing year after year after year. And I really firmly do believe there's never been a better time in the history of the world to do that. But it's actually simple. Simple, not easy. Not easy in the fact that you guys have to get good at marketing. Not good that you have to take it seriously. Not good that you have to learn how to do this. And nobody likes doing it. I totally get that, okay? I mean, I run the marketing department here. Truth be told, I don't even like doing it, okay? Posting on socials on a regular basis, content marketing, right? Running sales, all the things that you have to do. But I don't know what the alternative is. I don't know what the alternative is. Because of all the tens of thousands of artists and photographers that have come through these Zoom sessions in the last 3 years, there are maybe 1 or 2 that were doing great in the gallery. And I saw specifically, like right when COVID hit and all those gallery people got closed up, those people were flooding into these Zooms going, what do I do? I've got nothing. My income's done, right? It was terrifying. The road warriors are the road warriors. And then there's nothing else. You know, there's nothing else. Like, I've had like 6 people tell me they make more $10,000 a year on Saatchi, Fine Art America, Redbubble. I've had a couple of people on Etsy that are doing like $20,000 or $30,000 a year, but I haven't heard anyone else. So when you realize those odds, and please don't take it cynically, like this is only going to happen for you if you sign up at art storefronts. I don't care where you sign up or what you do, but I do care that if you want to take this business seriously and you want to see it growing year after year, it's the 2 trains, 2 tracks, no brakes. 2 trains, 2 tracks, no brakes. Okay. Now that rant is over with, I call this thing a Q Thorpe boot camp, and I love the marathon analogy, all right? I hate running. I will never sign up for a marathon in my life. But I know some people that have, and there's one thing that you notice about those people that sign up for the marathon. As soon as you fill out that form for that miserable activity, your whole life changes. Why? You know the pain is coming. You start eating a little bit better. You start training and taking your exercising more seriously. You start getting better sleep. If it's me, you work on that drinking habit that you have, right? All of these things in your life, you start taking more seriously. And my contention, having been in this business for close to 10 years now, and having seen what goes on in Q4 the last 3 months of the year, it's a marathon that you're signed up for whether you know it or not. And the training that you do between now and then, between the 4th quarter, the buying season, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the roll up to Christmas, all of those sales that are in the water, all throughout that. More art, more photography is sold in the 4th quarter than the other 3 quarters combined almost sometimes. Like our customers that do it well have a good year based on what that 4th quarter is. And so my contention is that you're signed up for that marathon whether you know it or not. And the question is, what are you going to start doing between now and then? What are you going to start doing between now and then to get ready? Because if it's wait until things start getting colder, kids are back at school, you're running around like a crazy person, next thing you know, it's Thanksgiving. Oh, I got to have a sale. And then you post something on Facebook and send an email to 6 people. Not going to be good. Not going to be good, right? So we need to start training now, right? We need to start getting our businesses in order now. And there's a number of different ways that you can approach that and that you can contemplate it. But step 1 in all of it is have it in the back of your head. It's coming. What you do between now and then is going to dictate the level of success that you have, and it is the most important time of the year to be selling. Without question, not even close. And you have to have your art up on the website. You have to start working on an email list. You have to start marketing regularly and consistently on the social media platforms. If you do that now, you're gonna wake up come October and you're gonna be like, oh, got a little momentum in my back. Things actually look pretty good here. People actually know who I am, and I have the ability to market and run some sales when Black Friday and Cyber Monday comes along. So very, very important to understand that. Happens every single solitary year. Every year it is absolutely fantastic in terms of sales, in terms of art and photography. So all very, very important. Pricing is another big one. And pricing is one of my favorite topics in this business period, right? And do you know what I love more than anything else? All the bullshit advice that's out there based on pricing. Here's the formula that you use for pricing. It's material cost times square inch times media times your time. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks for that. Magic, really. The only thing that matters is whether or not the art sells. There is no magical formula that's going to help you price your art if the art doesn't sell, which is why all of those formulas are nonsense. Pricing is quite simply this. And it's awesome and it's freeing. And once you do it and once you realize this lesson, and I have like a really in-depth article on this and I'm going to send it to all of you. You, Creative Times, need to have prices from 0 to 100. You need to have prices from 100 to 1,000. You need to have prices over 1,000. And you need to have one thing in the shop that is obscenely expensive. Okay? And let me break that all down with some real numbers. The 0 to 100 is really, really easy, especially if you're reproducing your artwork in terms of prints. But you also have to have non-wall art as a part of your lineup. Okay? It can't just be wall art. And the reason is that not everybody is ready to buy wall art all the time. And so you're out there, you're doing your marketing, you're getting your art, your photography in front of people, and they're like, wow, I really like this person. I really like their creativity. Problem, I'm not in the market for art right now. I want to reward this person for their talent, but I'm not in the market for art right now. If only they had something that was non-wall art related. Oh, they don't. Tell you what, I'll make a mental note to come back here. I'm going to go watch some cat videos, and you know what the masks do there, right? They're not coming back. They're never coming back. So the importance of having the non-wall art is so critical. No one talks about this enough. A business, specifically your guys' businesses, can be judged how well they are growing on one metric and one metric alone. The number of new customers you are acquiring per year. The number of new customers you are acquiring per year. Why? Why? Because the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. It is significantly easier to get somebody to come back and purchase a second time than it is to go out and find a new person and have them purchase for the first time. And this is just a fundamental rule of most businesses, but specifically this business. And I alluded earlier to how important it is to not sell in galleries so that you know who is purchasing your work. There is a phenomenon in here. I stole it from this guy, so I always give him credit. Hold on, I'm going to grab his book. I stole this from Weiland, okay? Weiland is the whale guy. Most would say the best-selling artist in the United States. By the way, this book, fire, okay? Insane, amazing. You need to go buy it. Honestly, I should be on commission for this. In fact, he's got a gallery close to where I live. I'm going to go in there and get it. Short, sweet, no fluff. I'm sorry, here it is. But the rub is it's not on Amazon. I think he donates 100% of the proceeds to charity, so you have to buy it from his website. But honestly, Google this book and buy this book. Weiland defines a collector as someone that will purchase in upwards of 7+ pieces of art from him over the course of a lifetime. And this is a phenomenon I see played out continually with my own customer base. But when you have collectors, it's a phenomenon of this business, right? Like there's certain product categories that have collectors, right? If you ask my 7-year-old kid, it's those damn Pokemon cards. They're all over my floor right now. You guys would laugh if you saw these. But shoes, cars, wristwatches, art is one of them. And it's a fantastic thing because you will keep creating throughout the course of your life. And these collectors will just go along for the ride. You keep raising prices, they keep coming and buying and buying and buying. Oh, that's awesome. Emma just said that book is on Spotify for free. I did not know that. Definitely listen to it. You want to highlight it, though. I'm not kidding. Great book. Where was I going with all that? So if we know the most important thing an art business can have as a collector, and then we know in order for a collector to become a collector, they first have to purchase something, that underscores how important it is to have non-wall art as a part of the lineup, okay? That's the 0 to 100 range. Also in there, you obviously have small prints. And then let's say you're 100 to 1,000, you get into some bigger size prints, right? your metals, your canvas, your acrylic. You go through that 0 to 1,000 range, and maybe close to the 1,000 range, you're in limited editions, and then above that, you have your originals. Everyone has to adjust it a little bit to taste. But you also need something obscenely expensive in the store. And let's say that you sell your originals, just to keep the math simple, at like $1,000. I want one in there for 10 grand. And why? Why one in there for 10 grand? That's crazy. I'm never going to sell that thing. I don't even care if you don't ever sell that thing. You ever been to a car dealership? And you know, in the car dealership, that the big glass box in the middle, I know the car dealership is a miserable feeling in most people's heads because you have to deal with the salespeople. But anyway, the big glass box in the middle, right? Let's say we're at the Toyota dealership. In that big glass box in the middle is the Toyota Supra carbon fiber TRD whatever. It's $275,000, right? There's a reason that they put those cars inside the glass box, and it's because human beings are wired to make purchase decisions based on comparison. We anchor onto certain things to compare to other certain things. And so when we go and look at that $250,000 Supra or the $150,000 Land Cruiser that's inside the glass box, we anchor onto that price point, and it makes us feel just that much better about buying the $60,000 Highlander, right? That's on the outside. And that's a phenomenon called price anchoring, and it's just one of these psychological things that's really, really, really important to do. You feel better knowing that I didn't buy the most expensive thing. It makes you feel a little bit better. That's why you put that high-priced item in there. Also, everyone's followers, yours, mine, any business, that all fall into a thing that I call the socioeconomic bell curve, okay? It's your typical bell curve, exactly what you'd expect. And down at the low end of it, you have the low socioeconomic status. Those people can't afford anything. They'll like, comment, share on your post. They're still good people. Then you have lower income folks, middle class, upper middle class, high net worth individuals, the bell curve, right? You know, what does everyone always say to me all the time? Yeah, I just want to target high net worth buyers. Yeah, good. That's great. You and every other business on the planet, aside from the 99-cent store, wants to target the high net worth buyers, okay? That is why it's insanely difficult to do that. But the point is, you need to have this range of pricing that I'm discussing to be able to cover all of the spots on that bell curve. Because what happens when you do that is you acquire the highest number of customers possible. And the beautiful thing about acquiring the highest number of customers possible is you can market to these folks in the future. The bell curve is not a fixed entity. Your buyers and potential buyers are going up and down that bell curve their entire lives. The one that's living in their mother's basement right now is buying their new house 2 years from now. And you got that sale. Do you want to know why you got that sale? Because you sold them a mug or a mouse pad or a calendar or a whatever, and it sat on their fridge. It could be a sticker, okay, that's on my garage fridge with all the rest of the stickers. And every time I go out to get a beer, which is an enjoyable experience for me, I look at your art, okay? Now I've moved out of my mother's basement, and I'm going to go buy a house, and you got that sale. And that's how it works. And I get a lot of pushback on the merch, okay? I'm a fine artist, Patrick. I would never sell that merch, that cheap tchotchke crap. I'm not doing that. To which I respond, let me know the last time any of you went to a museum that didn't have a gift shop. I'll wait, okay? If Van Gogh's Starry Night is on the wall, and you can also buy a Starry Night poster in the gift shop for $22 plus tax, I'm pretty sure Van Gogh's not losing any sleep over it. Technically, he's really asleep. He's dead. But you get the point, okay? You get the point. You ever been to a concert that hasn't had merch? I don't think so, okay? The Rolling Stones, take your pick, okay? Merch is very, very important in the simple lens that you acquire more customers as a result of it. So having that price range is huge. What is one of the most defeating things that happens to artists and photographers out there? You worked hours on a piece. I mean, hours. It took so much time. You're going to sell this thing for $800, and what happens? Someone's like, yeah, that's beautiful. Would you take $25 for it? Oh, you're just deflated, right? Like this person is just, I mean, it's like a troll on social media. I mean, they have just ruined your entire day. The beautiful thing is, when you have the range of pricing, it doesn't happen as much. It almost doesn't happen at all. Because people understand, they have a context of where things are in your lineup. Oh, this is $100 and under. Oh, this is $100 to $1,000. Oh, this is over $1,000. Oh, that's the $5,000 piece. And what's more, when you get those folks who don't know any better, okay, most of them are not bad people. They just don't know any better. You can be like, oh, that's fantastic. I love that you have the interest. That one costs quite a bit more, but let me show you what is in your range. And then we gently guide them to where we are in our range. Do you know how much better that is for your self-esteem? Okay, let me tell you, significantly better. It is significantly better for your self-esteem. You are going to be a happier and better functioning member of society, okay? Your significant other is like, this is awesome. Why are you in such a good mood? It's because you have the range of pricing. Very, very important. That's pricing. I'm going to send you a follow-up article on it after this whole thing's over. In addition to the pricing, the next thing I want to talk about is Instagram. Most important social network for artists and photographers. It's not even close. Secondarily, it's Facebook. Okay, have to be working on both of them. Well, Patrick, what about TikTok, or what about Pinterest, or what about SEO? Yeah, what about shiny objects that are not going to move your business anywhere and are going to put you on the road to a hobby? All right, that's what all the rest are. I don't care what anyone else says, anyone's friends, anyone. No one is selling art on any of the rest of those things, okay? They are lying to you if they're saying they are. It's nonsense. I've looked at way too much data. Aside from onesies, twosies here with weird circumstances, the two most important places that you need to be are Instagram and secondarily Facebook. And thank God for that. Okay, don't talk to me about TikTok. I'll kick you right out of this Zoom. You are lying to yourself, okay? Stupid Chinese app, communist app that is just trying to flood you with an endorphin hit. You got 10,000 views. You didn't get 10,000 views. You got 100 views from people that are never going to buy your work, okay? So when we stay focused on the only two platforms that matter, to the detriment of wasting time on any of the rest of those ones, I don't care. Just stay out of there. Stay in my lane. Facebook and Instagram and Facebook. You will end up winning. And why is Instagram the most important? What do you guys create? You create visual creations. What is Instagram? A giant visual search engine. Imagine that. Lines up pretty nicely, right? The beautiful thing is that Instagram has become, over the years, evolved into the credit check for artists and photographers. What do I mean by that? I'm going to buy something. I saw something. My neighbor had something. It's really important for me to keep up with the Jones. I'm going to go look at what he got, and what am I doing? I'm going instantaneously to Amazon. I'm going to read the reviews. Was that thing good? Is there a better one? Maybe there's a better one. Maybe I can one-up this guy because I got to keep up with the Jones. Now, we check Amazon is a way of getting credit checks, like getting the reviews of what something is, right? So you could say Consumer Reports or some of the other sites too. For artists and photographers, it's like, hey, I just saw this. I'm at your friend's house. You sold some art to your friend. I saw that. That's a great piece. Who did that? Oh, yeah, it's my buddy. It's my cousin, Mark McClanahan over there. And you should check him out. You know what they're going to do? They're going to pull out Instagram, and they're going to look for you, and they're going to look at your profile, and are they going to say, is this an artist that's doing anything? Is this an artist that's putting out content regularly? Are they on the up and up? Do they have 2 followers or 2,000 followers, right? And it's very, very important to understand, one, that Instagram offers a credit check, okay? So fundamentally, it's important just for that matter. 2, secondarily, and I should also say, like, you know, the data in this industry is so utterly, totally, completely opaque, right? Like, there's so much nonsense out there, it's mind-boggling. But there's 2 outfits that report on the super high end of the art market. One's the Hiscox Group, it's an insurance entity out of London, and the other is Art Basel teams up with UBS Payne Weber, I think that's who it is. The 2 of them put out a report, and what they do is they survey every year all of the folks that are essentially buying $100,000 pieces and up. And every single solitary year, I've watched the results of those reports when it comes out, and every year it ticks up. Did you follow and or consume content from an artist on Instagram? Was Instagram influential in your buying decision? And in both cases, both of their surveys, like, those percentages are really pretty high. So it's significant in its ability to help you guys sell art. The top-end, high-end buyers are all there, okay? So that makes it very important as well. The beautiful thing about Instagram is you can reach a ton of buyers. The terrible thing about Instagram is you have to post frequently on it for years to really make a huge dent. So, yeah, 1, you got to get started. 2, you have to understand you're going to suffer in the short term because it's not easy, and you have to learn how to do it, and you have to learn how to enjoy it and get good at it. And we can talk about that in depth. I have a ton of teaching on Instagram. But the beautiful thing that exists currently on Instagram, and I love this. Okay, we're going to have to do a little social media history lesson. But Facebook emerged. Facebook pretty much became a monopoly, okay? Power was unchecked. Then a new rising competitor came along, and Facebook is like, uh-oh, we can't have any competition. It was Instagram. We're going to go buy those folks. So they bought them. Okay, great. Now Facebook's even more powerful. It's Facebook and Instagram. I'm streaming on their platform when I'm saying this, so I get banned. You guys will know why. Zuckerberg kicks my door, and you'll know why. So now they own these 2 platforms. So the playbook was, we are a monopoly. If any competitors come along, we're just going to buy them. Okay. Snapchat emerges. Snapchat starts taking all of these young kids away from Facebook and Instagram. They're like, all right, what does the playbook say to do in this situation? Let me see the playbook. Mark, it says if we have a competitor, go and buy them. All right, somebody go and buy Snapchat. So they go and try and buy Snapchat. Snapchat says pound sand. Mark's like, okay, what does the playbook say now? We don't know. He goes, all right, we're just going to copy them verbatim. And so Snapchat had these things called stories that disappeared after 24 hours, and Facebook copied them verbatim. Verbatim. So, okay, now Snapchat peters out. I mean, who's using that? I don't know. Some kids, whatever. It's whatever. I don't want to talk about it. The next one came along. This time it was TikTok. And Mark Zuckerberg went right back to the playbook. He's like, okay, this is awesome. TikTok is starting to steal a bunch of our users. It's competition. What should I do? Let's go try and buy them. He goes and tries and buy them again. They tell him no. He said, my wife is Chinese. Let me buy you. They still said no. So the next thing they do is they're like, okay, what does the playbook say next? Copy them verbatim. And so that's what they did. And by the way, the other social players were watching, and now YouTube watched, and they're like, okay, let's copy them verbatim. So what did TikTok have? These short form little videos that were 120 seconds or less and were very compelling, cell phone style video size. They copied that feature verbatim and called it Instagram Reels. YouTube saw that, copied that feature verbatim, called it YouTube Shorts. I could cycle through the 3 views of those 3 different products, and you could almost not tell the difference. They even put the buttons in the same place as copycats. Anyway, why it was a brilliant thing, TikTok coming along, is it destroyed what has been up to that point in time the social contract. What is a social contract? What do I mean by that? Hey, art storefronts, work really hard on my platforms, Facebook and Instagram, and post a bunch of content. When you do, people will follow you and become fans. After you earn those followers and those fans, some small portion of what you create will be shown to those followers and fans for free. Early on in the days, it was like 90%. Recently, it's like 2 to 5%. Tiny, almost nothing, right? So that is what the social contract was. TikTok, God bless him, despite the fact that don't like the platform and think it's evil, has been still siphoning off users from Instagram at an alarming rate. It's all the younger kids and the people that are chasing likes that are not real and chasing views that are not real. It's a worthless platform. Anyway, so what they've done is they've torn up the social contract. So now where we are is we're in a scenario where you can get onto Instagram and you can have 2 followers, your significant other and your mother, okay? She likes and comments on everything. God bless you. Thank you, Mom. You can create content in the form of an Instagram reel. And an Instagram reel can potentially, if it's good, be seen by hundreds, by thousands, by even millions. In which case, you organically marketing without leaving your house, showing off your creations, understanding the platform, can get free reach. It used to be you didn't get that. And it used to be you had to pay a ton of money in terms of Facebook and Instagram ads to get that attention. Now you can do that without leaving your house, and that's an incredible, incredible thing. So it represents a huge, huge opportunity. And so that's where we stand right now as it sits in 2023. I believe Instagram is the most amazing platform that exists that can bring you guys buyers, bring you guys fans, bring you guys email addresses, and yes, sell your art of photography, but you have to get good at marketing it. You have to understand how to post. You have to work on your posting frequency, and you have to learn to love it. You know, one of the things I realized as I was watching that is like, how fast does stuff evolve on the social networks? Because that video is maybe like a month and a half or 2 months old, and already things have changed a little bit. They're constantly moving the goalposts, which is not there in the slightest. But what we can do is open it right up to Q&A and take the conversation wherever we want to take it. If you're one of the brave ones that has your camera on, you can do the old school hand raise. I'll see that, and then can bring you on. For everyone else, you know, at the bottom of your Zoom window, you'll notice there's this little smiley face thing, and it says reactions. If you click that, there's an ability to raise your hand digitally speaking, and that lets me know you have a question. Or I guess, where'd you say it is, Andrea? Now there's like an actual raise hand button. Why do they always change the buttons? Why can't you just say this is where it is and we're done? Yeah, there's an actual raise hand button, and if you click like more or whatever, and you can see I just did it. It it lets me know you have a question. But it usually just takes one brave soul to kick us off and open the floodgates of questions. So who's see, Jonas? That's what I'm talking about. Good man, good man. And I need to understand what's going on with that like stove heater looking thing behind you too.
Oh, I'm in my studio in my barn here
Oh, that's
where I
awesome.
roll cars in and stuff. Hey, my question is watermarks and copy and paste. Big thing.
So
How do you
how
deal?
qualify that when you say big thing? How do you mean?
Well, I mean, I was the Grateful Dead's photographer back then,
Wow.
and I have pictures that I put watermarks on. I've had website companies that have, well, I've embedded my own watermark. But is that a service that you do? How do you protect photographers like me that have archival pictures?
Yeah, so you can watermark all of the images. That feature comes standard. It's easy. It takes 2 seconds, turn it on globally, boom, it's done. I don't like it though. I don't like it personally because I think in like today's day and age, the greatest thing that you could have happen is have somebody steal the art, and it almost rarely happens in my experience. But it's funny because from a marketer standpoint, okay, that's been around since the history of blogging. Everybody, when you started blogging back in the day, would go Google search an image, grab the image, throw it in the blog post. That's just what everyone did, right? It was like too early, like it hadn't become an issue yet. And so every once in a while, you would get a notice from the copyright holder saying, like, hey, that's mine, you owe me money, and you would negotiate and come to some sort of settlement and pay him money. Now, AI software has gotten so good that Reuters and what's the other big one? The Associated Press literally have an AI that scans the internet full time, finds their images. The minute it has their images, it has partnered with a law firm. It auto generates the note and boom, fires it off to the people that were infringing. And I think that's going to come to photographers soon. Okay.
Okay.
Like very, very soon. In which case you can partner with a law firm that will go after and try and like recover all of that stuff. That being
Right.
said, it happens very, very infrequently in my opinion.
Hmm.
In my opinion, so I don't necessarily think it's worth it. But at the end of the day, it's Coke or Pepsi, right? It's like if you want to do it, boom, we can turn it on in 2 seconds and you're sorted. That's number one. Number two, we embed an extremely low resolution version of the photo on the site. So we don't make it easy, is what I'm saying. We make it as hard for them as possible, but it doesn't, in my experience, happen all that often.
So you can't turn off the right click.
Oh no, that's turned off. But if you know what you're doing, like turning off the right click, it just means you have to press a different button. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I'll let somebody else speak.
yeah. But I find that whole stove idea like really cozy. I live in Southern California. I would probably get to use it 2 days a year, but there's something about a wood fire burning stove that like feel like I would be productive in that modality. Um,
Yeah, it's getting cold in Durango, so we.
yeah, I imagine so. But someone from my team is going to call you today if they haven't already.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jonas. All right, Katie, you're up next. Go ahead, Katie, and then I'll go JW, then Jaguar Rain, and you'll just need to unmute Katie, mic icon.
Sorry,
Yep,
I was trying to get
gotcha.
my cursor to work. I was going to ask about the whole AI stuff too,
Mm-hmm.
with competing with that. And also on my own website, I have no right click, and you can't like copy page either.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a WordPress site, really easy for me to install. But yeah, how are you competing How are artists competing financially, especially like graphic artists with AI right now?
Yeah. So
It's
are
been
you?
away for a long time, so sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry. Um, it's interesting, right? And I've been in the industry a long time. Where right when the inkjet printers came out, I was in it, right? Like when the very first G Clay printers rolled off the line, which must have been like '98 or '97, and bit by bit, serigraphs started getting knocked out because you could reproduce everything, and this was like a huge worry back then, right? Because anyone can steal the art and anyone can start reproducing it. Also, I remember at that point in time that these factories would spring up in China where they would train a bunch of artists to like hand paint just about anything, and they were doing crazy duplication. It wasn't an issue back then. And I think AI now, is it going to be an issue in certain capacities? Absolutely it is. I.e., You're Bed Bath and Beyond. I know they're out of business, but I always go to that example. You're Bed Bath and Beyond, and you're like, we need to sell some art in this particular portion of our bathroom mock-up in this part of the store, right? Are they going to go to AI? Yeah, they are. But you know the amount of artists that ended up getting that deal? No one knows who it is. It was like one esoteric person here or there. So I'm not too worried about it on that front. It's going to hurt a little bit there, but not really. The third thing that I love, though, is that most artists and photographers don't realize that you're the brand as much as the art is the brand. And a lot of art photography is purchased based on the emotional connection of who the artist is, what makes them tick, what makes them interesting, why they like them. And so I honestly don't think AI is going to hurt and all that. I think you can approach it with either like the scarcity or the abundance mindset. I'm on the abundance side of the equation. If you're a working graphic designer right now and you're not leveraging those tools to speed up your workflow, you're out of your mind. Because I think the ones that do can do 10 times as much. I mean, some of the stuff that I can do with Canva, and I'm not a graphic designer at all, is so fast, and yet I still need quality design to start with, right? It just gets me there a little bit faster. So in terms of art sales, I'm worried about it very, very little, honestly. Yeah. Don't lose any sleep over it. And you know, definitely leverage it. Like we're looking for as many ways to leverage it for our customers as possible. And, you know, it's really, really good at writing image descriptions. So like the new GTP4, like if you upload your image and you're like, write a description for this thing, it will spit out a pretty doggone good description. And then you just go in and put your sauce on it. Like, that's fantastic, right? Like, how many jobs do you guys have to have? Create the art, then you have to be a caption and description writer, then you've got to run the business, right? Like, you guys get a little help in the process too. That's not so bad, right? So we're definitely embracing it. But there are some scary parts to it too. But I don't think it's going to kill art sales. Like little onesie twosie stuff here or there. But I think far more is going to be, you know, blown up as a result of it. Okay, JW, you're up. A great question, Katie. You have to unmute JW. Click the mic icon, bottom left-hand corner. I'll let you know when you get it. It's usually just one click on the mic icon, bottom left. Yep, gotcha.
How about that?
Yep, gotcha.
Good.
Now I'm getting cabin envy. There was the stove in the other one. He's got like the cedar ceiling. Like, I need a mountain trip immediately.
Pine. It's just basic pine.
Pine.
6-inch tongue and groove.
Still looks good though.
The cheap stuff.
Yeah, still looks good.
So, thank you. You can talk to my wife about that. She chooses all that kind of stuff.
No, she did a good job.
Maybe some exact numbers aren't necessary here, but I've got 4 questions here. I'll rattle them all at once, and you can just give us some anecdotal info, if anything.
Sure.
What are your gross sales per user, net sales per user, like what they actually pocket, and what's the same gross and net for first year customers, and how do you? Yeah, I guess those are my 3 questions.
Yep, totally love it. And you know, it's interesting because I get variations of that question all the time, and I'm curious where you're coming from with them. And what people normally do, I call them the crystal ball questions, right? And the idea behind them, and I've been chasing these the entire time I've been in this business. How I chase them as a marketer. Okay, what is the average revenue per person that has this size email list, this size Facebook followers, this size Instagram followers, and so I can use that to somehow benchmark how these people are going to do, right? And then I get into these scenarios where I have customers on the platform that have over 1 million followers on Instagram. And then I have customers on the platform that have under 5,000. I'm thinking 2 people in principle. The gal that has under 5,000 on Instagram outsells that other person 10 to 1. 10 to 1, it's not even close. And how do you explain it, right? How do you explain something like that? And, you know, I'd have to ask my wife. She has a PhD in statistics, but there is literally, what I found is like, comparing yourself to others and thinking that there is some sort of master formula or master plan or guaranteed ROI win back period is the biggest fool's errand in the history of mankind, because it assumes all the rest of the variables in the equation are the same. Is this person a full-time working artist? Are they not a full-time working artist? Are they actually working on their marketing, or are they not working on their marketing? Do they have a tight and defined subject matter niche that really resonates with a huge audience, or is their subject matter more esoteric? And so it's an impossible question to answer, in the sense that, like, if you're looking for a benchmark, like, how quickly am I going to earn back my investment? Or what can I expect year 1 revenue? Or where am I going to be in 5 years? Or like, who are the most successful? And in all honesty, like, I don't think you can ever benchmark yourself against other artists. I don't think you can ever benchmark yourself against other photographers. I think it's an utter, total, and complete fool's errand. What you can do is focus on the variables that you can control, which is saying, okay, here's my subject matter material. I think it's going to sell. I haven't gotten in front of enough eyeballs to actually know if it will sell, but I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm going to do the work to get it in front of enough eyeballs to find out if it'll sell. At that point in time is when you have to have the personal come to Jesus. If it takes off and it's a hit, then great, you have to do more marketing. If it doesn't work, you got to take that ego blow and say, you know what, all artists and photographers have done that on their journey, and then pivot to a different subject matter material so you can figure it out. So there's no essential roadmap or saying this is what you're going to get, this is what you're going to get year one. But you know what we can do? Andrea, are you willing to share stats?
Yeah, I don't have them memorized.
Yeah, you don't have how long have you been a customer?
A year and 8 months.
A year and 8 months. And how long have you genuinely been working on your marketing in the year and 8 months?
Like since the beginning. Yeah, I work hard on my marketing.
Okay, since the beginning. Total sales to date, if you're comfortable sharing. Ballpark back of the napkin's fine.
Just maybe just below 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that normal, JW? Is that par for the course? Is that low for the course? It's Andrea's path, right? That's what she's done so far in the time that she's done marketing and the time that she's been at it, and with her subject matter material and her niche. She's a wildlife photographer in Vancouver in Canada, and you haven't really played around with niches too much. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So JW, whether you sign up with us or not, like I sincerely believe like trying to benchmark yourself against some sort of an average or thinking like what's going to work out for me is just crazy. I mean,
that's not what I'm doing actually.
No.
I'm just curious to know what the average is. I know you've probably got that. You probably know the average user sales, but if that's not something you want to share with us, and if you want to kind of apply some of the caveats that you've been mentioning, what's some sort of ballparkish? Maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's 50,000, maybe it's 5,000 that knocks off the top 20% and lowest 20%. Say, like, where does that put art?
Yeah.
Where does that put your platform?
And we haven't run the data, and not for like a lack of trying. It's just like for a lack of how our system reports and records everything. We have another issue, and I get in trouble for saying this all the time, but I don't really care. So I would say in some customers, more than half, but most customers they don't run their sales through the platform. They leverage the website to get the customer on the phone. And then once the customer is on the phone, they handle the sale directly themselves. And I encourage it. I actually encourage it because it forces them to not hide behind the digital wall and actually get their customer on the phone, right? We have a ton of customers that do a ton of their business through like in-person fairs and shows. So, a lot of times their orders will be wholesale, and we don't have any idea what they're actually selling for at the end of the day. So it's not an easy mathematical problem. Trust me when I say I'm like not trying to be cagey. Like we genuinely don't know what it is. What I would guess is that whatever the normal average for artists and photographers is out there, we are significantly higher than that, only because we get them working on their marketing consistently like they never have before at any other time in their life. That's like honestly the best way that I can answer the question. I mean, I could give you a bunch of customers that have knocked it out of the park, customers that are over $1 million, customers that are knocking on the 10 million, and I could give you customers that haven't made over $500 in 3 years. Like, how do you benchmark it all? Like where would you cut the statistical needle even if I had all the data at my fingertips? So that would be how I'd answer it. You muted again.
It's twice, huh?
Yeah.
So basically, it's about the your marketing efforts and coupled with the desirability of your art, but it's almost, you can bypass the desirability of your art if you market correctly.
Oh my gosh, is that so true? Stated another way, like, I took a number of I basically minored in photography at college. So I've studied all the greats. I know the rule of thirds. I know how to operate a camera. I have a pretty good idea of what constitutes a proper photo versus a snapshot. I have people selling snapshots that have a healthy business. I do not understand it. I've never understood it. We have one gentleman that has a photo of a frog on a toilet seat saying dropping off the tadpoles, and this gentleman has made a significant amount of money, and I don't even find that art all that compelling. I can't explain any of it. It is truly like in the eye of the beholder. But also I think the important thing, and I get like really frustrated with this on social media because you get all the kinds of snarky comments on social media. And the premise with like a lot of these questions is like, oh, the service didn't work for me. You guys, I have a friend and the service didn't work for them. And a lot of times, like, I'll go and I'll look, and you know, that person barely did any marketing, or their subject matter was questionable. But I don't want anyone running around thinking that there's some sort of service that flips the light switch or makes fish jump in the boat. I mean, Andrea will tell you, like, she has had to learn to become a competent marketer. She has a ton of learning left to go. She needs a ton of encouragement, and she gets a little bit of harassment, mostly from me. But none of that is going to stop. Like, that's what we do. We don't play the hand of cards for you, but we stack the deck in the best fashion possible. We help you understand this is what's working in terms of pricing. This is the latest, greatest on-the-ground techniques, Instagram, Facebook, email marketing, in-person fairs and shows, how to leverage QR codes, how to do print giveaways. Like, we have a ton of knowledge and a ton of tradecraft that we've built and that works for us because we have, like I said, 12,000 plus customers, and we're able to download all of that into our customers' hands, but ultimately they're responsible for their businesses. You know, the idea that like somehow the service poof makes you successful, anyone that says that to you ever, run the other direction, because it's snake oil, and especially in this business. You know, I see so many of like the because I'm on Instagram all the time, like the competing ads, my 12-step Facebook ads formula, or my special course, this or that. It's like, there's no course. There's no list of buyers that you can buy. There's no magical Facebook advertising formula. There is grinding your ass off for years and being frustrated for a great many of them. You do that, you win. You find, and you show me any successful artist or photographer that didn't do that that's successful, and I will tell you, you are lying, right? Like, I love being upfront about it and saying, like, look, this is a grind. I think we're one of the best places that exist for artists and photographers to grind, but it's a grind. It just is. It's not easy selling art of photography. Now, it's awesome when you do. Why? Because you manufacture it. There's no overhead. There's no rent. There's no warehousing. You don't have to own any special equipment. You're not doing injection molds in China. So there's huge upside to doing it. And as a result of this, you can now reach more human beings than at any other time in Earth, and we're not geographically limited to where we are. All of that's awesome. And that makes it simple, just not easy, right? You have to grind for years to be successful. And that's the ballgame. That's the ballgame. Thanks for doing. Tell your wife I like the ceiling. All right, Jaguar, you're up.
Okay, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. The thing is, I had a stroke 5 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And so excuse me, I have aphasia, so hard to speak sometimes, okay?
Yes.
But I have a lot of emails. I have a lot of emails. But you know, they don't know this because I had a stroke. So how would I do that? How would I say, hello, I'm Kanaya H. Kennedy. I had a stroke, but I'm back. I mean, like,
yes, 100%. A stroke is terrible, right? And that's a horrible thing to overcome. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. But you'd be surprised how many of us in our lives have terrible crap like that. All of us, all of us. And like, I'm constantly encouraging my customers to be, here's how I said, artists love hiding behind the canvas, and photographers love hiding behind the lens. Do you know how many artists? Do you know how many artist profile? Like, this is the smell test, and let me know any of the rest of you on here if you might fail this one. If I came to your Instagram profile and I looked at it, within 2 swipes of my thumb, would I be able to learn anything about you other than the fact that you're an artist or you're a photographer? Do you know how many of you failed miserably on that? I don't know where you live. I don't know what you like. Are you a dog person or a cat person? Do you like wine? Do you like cooking, paddling kayaks? Human beings make buying decisions based on liking the person that we're buying the thing from, of having something in common with the person that we're buying from. So yes, I would lean into it. I have like multiple, I have multiple customers that are, you know, surviving various different health ailments, that are in chemo, out of chemo, recovery. Like, I'm all about telling your story and being authentic and being who you are. And it's a part of what makes you you. And you would be surprised how many people will resonate with it when you are brutally honest. A lot of them, because they're all going through stuff too. We all do. So yes, I would get that email. I would send it today. I would say, here's what happened. I'm back. It's great to see all of you. And by the way, I'm going to be having a sale for Black Friday. I need to clear out some inventory. Let me know if you're interested. That's what I would do. Yeah. And you can get some, and you could use ChatGPT to write the emails for you too, right? Get that AI to help out a little bit. It would do an absolutely wonderful job. Okay, Joanne, you're up next. Go ahead, Joanne. Oh, you need to unmute too, Joanne. Mic icon will let you know when you get it.
Can you hear me now?
I sure can.
Okay. First of all, I want to say I love your honesty.
Oh, thank you.
It makes me laugh because it's totally a grind.
It is totally a grind. But it takes all of us that have like been burned so many times and like gone through it. Like, you know, we know this intrinsically because we've already been through it. We've already tried all those shortcuts and they're all dead ends and we already all know it, right? So let's talk about what it really takes.
Tons of offers from California will get you on page 1 of Google.
Yeah.
And at 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe you appeared top line on Google when nobody was awake. So anyway, so I'm not the artist.
Okay.
I represent an artist.
Okay.
And he's quite successful and posts a lot on Facebook. He's the creative part and I'm kind of the business part.
Okay.
So he posts a lot on Facebook and he has a lot of followers, but I find it to be somewhat of a dead end. I'm not sure. And they say, oh, we love that painting.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Okay. So now what?
So I love that, by the way. So I teach strategies on all this all the time. And I don't know, do you listen to podcasts?
Once in a while, not that often.
Okay. Well, whatever. I've got one called the Art Marketing Podcast and it's a great episode. And I call it, how to turn buying questions, which that is, into selling conversations. It's on here anyway. I'm going to send you guys a link to it afterwards. I want you to listen to it, but it's incumbent upon the artist, and this is really, really hard, right? And this is where like it always gets so crazy because it's like the sheer number of hats. I mean, this artist at least has you, and you understand business. The rest of them have to wear every single solitary hat, including selling, which is hard. But when you get any variation of this work is incredible, oh my gosh, you should sell this stuff. This reminds me of such and such when I was a child. What an incredible work. Your job as the artist, in your case, a business person, is to say, thank you so much for that compliment. Just to let you know, that work is on sale. Here's the link to buy it. Or that work is on sale. I offer it in originals and prints. Which one would you like? And then shut up for the awkward pause after the fact. Because it's the only way you'll know if this other human being is just being decent to you and is not really interested or is interested. And the idea is to start a conversation, right? And I'm constantly training my customers to do this.
Private message you or?
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it any which way. I'll do it in public. I'll do it right there in the comment. I'll send me a DM. I'll say, text me right here if you want to jump in a Zoom session. Like it's a variation of like artists love hiding behind the canvas. Photographers love hiding behind the lens. We all love hiding behind this like digital facade, which is our website. No, let's go back to having conversations. The conversations are the best thing. And, you know, we figured out, I actually learned it from a customer. So we have this customer that's crazy. I'll send this to you guys too. I'll pull it up right now so we can look at it. But he's really, really interesting. He's like, he just turned 30 actually. And his name's Jonah. He's like I guess what I would call him, an aquatic coastal photographer from the panhandle of Florida. And he has this really interesting way of doing it where, I'm pulling it up because I'm just going to put the link in the chat actually. He does this sale that works really, really well. Okay. And his sale is make me an offer. And he shuts up. He goes, guys, a lot of you, and I should say his pieces start at maybe his pieces start at $5,500 or $7,500. He's not cheap. He's expensive. I'm going to put this in the chat, but you can listen to it. I did an interview with him. It was like an hour interview. And then we did Q&A and he answered a bunch of questions. But he does this make me an offer. So your job, oh, thank you, Juan, I forgot. Juan's in here, he threw it in the chat for me. It's incumbent upon you to turn it into a selling conversation and don't let that person leave without saying, well, I'll tell you what, you seem to really like the piece. Why don't you make me an offer? And then shut up and see what comes back, right? And what inevitably happens, what inevitably happens is A, you get to the bottom of it. Are they just being cool and flattering me? B, you find out what their budget is. Okay. And when you find out what their budget is, and this is like what we teach on price, like, I don't know if you watched the presentation earlier, but like you have to have prices 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 plus, right? And that's both because of the socioeconomic bell curve, but that's also because like the lower commitment items, for lack of a better term, are the gateway drug to the product at large, right? So sometimes you say, make me an offer, and they're like, to be honest with you, I really only have like $350, and we're talking about a $3,000 original. I really only have $350, and you go, that's awesome. I can totally work with you. Here's what we have in your price range, and you know what? I can even do it with that image, right? And then maybe you get the sale over the line, or maybe you find out, actually, this person really, really likes your artist's creative style and really, really just wanted a commission. But now you've gotten to the bottom of it with a make me an offer, which is like so hard to do otherwise. You know, it's so hard to do otherwise. So it's a very, very important way of going about it. If he has a large following on Facebook, okay, I imagine he's not doing enough of the right things to take advantage of it. It's really, it's really, really hard. They, like I said, they're constantly moving the goalposts, both of the platforms, and it's just always swinging. So, you know, that's constantly what we teach. Is he active on Instagram?
No, I think that's the piece we're missing.
Yeah, he needs to get on that immediately. He literally needs to.
I'm going to.
Yeah, and you can
insist on that.
If you want to show him, there's two. One, well, you get a link to the Hiscox report, and then get a link to, because if he's at like the higher end of the scale, especially, there's an insurer out of London called the Hiscox Group, and they put out an art marketing report every single solitary year. Then Art Basel teams up with UBS, and they put out a report. Juan's going to get the links. He'll throw them in the chat. And I've watched these reports because it's like our industry is so opaque. There's like barely any damn data on anything, okay? But these reports come out every single solitary year, and like you watch, and again, these reports are for like, you know, the Sotheby's crowd, right? It's like pieces selling for like, you know, $100,000 now. But whatever. The point is, Instagram has grown in prominence every single solitary year, i.e. even the high net worth buyers and high net worth collectors are getting surveyed, and they're like, did Instagram play a direct buying role in your decision? And more and more and more of them are saying yes. So it's so important. It is so important to have. Yeah, so Juan's throwing the reports in the chat. But we can help you guys out significantly. You're going to have to learn a ton of trade craft. And that's just how it goes. But it's very helpful that this artist has a business manager. It's huge.
Yeah. And you're feeling just very quickly about places like Park West Gallery?
I don't like galleries. Let me put it this way.
They represent the artists on cruise ships and.
Yeah. I have never met a revenue source that's legal that I don't like, that I don't encourage. Okay, because this business is very hard to make it in. That being said, I hate galleries, and the reason that I hate galleries is because if you do not know who is buying your work, if you do not have the ability to market to that person in perpetuity, it is so short-sighted because this is a collector-driven business.
Well, you have to be on the cruise ship.
Yeah, you do. So if it's in addition, fine, but it can't be in lieu of selling direct, getting to know your buyers, knowing who they are, being able to market to them, because that's the long-term future. You know, I had the sheer number of people that I had when COVID hit that were coming on these webinars going, help. You know, and they were making $300,000 or $400,000 a year, and they're like, all of my revenue sources shut down. I have no email list. I have no social following. The gallery was taking care of all of it for me. I've got nothing. Help me. And it's like, it's so heartbreaking because you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Like the gallery relationship alone is a tenant-farmer relationship. If you're working the land,
the cruise ship industry during COVID,
same thing. So if you were, and like when you're honest with yourself and you know, like, okay, I can have this going on. It's working for me. It's working for my business. But I need this other silo that I control in case all of the lights get shut off again. I have something, right? I've got something that I've got. So yeah, that's what's
okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Great questions.
Very interesting.
Thanks. All right, next up is Charlotte, and then it'll go Robert. Go ahead, Charlotte. You'll need to unmute, Charlotte. I'll let you know when you get it.
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was hitting the bottom rather than the top.
All good.
Okay, a couple of questions. I have an Instagram account, but I haven't really been that active with it.
Yeah.
Should I create another Instagram?
No.
No.
Have you ever watched Two Children?
What are you talking about? I don't know what I've had 2 children in my presence to watch. Yeah, what are
Yeah,
you
okay.
talking about?
Do you
I
know
don't
what? Isn't it so much easier to watch one instead of two? It's so much easier to watch one instead of two. No, I don't want you to have two.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just have one. You just need one.
So don't create a new one that's specifically for my eye.
No, don't. I would
Okay.
I would just keep going on it, especially early on. Like, you know, there are some people that are like, look, I have like 15 family and friends, and I need to see all their updates, and I want to be able to comment on it. Okay, fine. Keep the one that already has all the family and friends and everyone on it, and then go start another one just for the personal stuff. But don't make the new one the business entity, right? Make the new one the new lockdown personal one, and then use the one you have currently for the business. That's what I would do. That makes sense? You're looking at me like, what is he
No.
talking about?
It doesn't make sense.
So let's say that you have one and you're following your kids and your grandkids and your neighbors and everything else. Okay, great. You don't want to put your business on that one and bombard these folks all day long with updates, right?
Okay.
My point is, yes, you do, and do that. And then if you want to start another one just for the family and friends following, you can do that.
Oh,
But don't make it the
okay.
business one. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So use what I have now, and then I want to break away and do one just for the family. Do that.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing is, do you have a software that you use for keeping up with emails?
Yes.
Not emails. Well, your customers.
Yes.
Your phone numbers and contacts. Okay. What do you use?
We have an internal, so the website itself is sort of like its own internal database / CRM. CRM is like the fancy acronym, like customer resource manager. So all of your contacts are stored in their first name, last name, address, email address, all of that. And then we also sync with MailChimp to send out emails. So you can do that. So we save all of the data for you. So yes, there is a system to organize all of it for you.
So it's within your program, though.
Mhm.
It's not something that we'd do outside of that.
Yeah. It's inside of our program. And don't worry, we don't look at any of those names. Those are all your names. It's your data. You can take it with you at any point in time. People always ask that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What about YouTube?
YouTube's
Putting it
interesting.
in with it.
I've not seen. Let me put it this way: I have some customers that have hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube, some that have millions of followers, and in none of those cases is a ton of art being sold as a result of those big following counts on YouTube. The ones that do really, really well are doing like teaching painting or doing like time lapses of their paintings, but it's not really selling the art itself. So what I would say is, like, if you need somewhere to stash some videos, like, you know, store some videos so that everyone can see them, YouTube is great. But other than that, YouTube's not a hugely important platform for marketing and selling art.
So do you include in your program about having classes or having that sort of thing where people sign up and come and do
Yes.
a class?
Yeah, you can. We don't have like full blown course software, but we have a ton of. I mean, we have such a diverse customer base. I have some people that are selling trips to take people into the national parks to do nighttime photography. I have some people that are teaching people how to paint. Some people that are teaching people how to graphic design. And what they usually do is just put the item in the store, and then they can check out in the store, and then they deliver the course however they deliver the course, which is a bunch of different ways. Some people just do it with video. Some people do it with email. Some people have course platforms, and like everything in between.
Well, you were talking in the video before about how the important thing is to have online Zooms, live one-on-one.
One-on-one. It's like, hey, Charlotte, I was interested in a couple of your pieces. Can we talk about them? Yeah, no problem, Patrick. I'd love to get on a Zoom with you, right? And now I'm looking at you. You're looking at me. You're holding up the art in the background. You're talking about it. You're letting me know what size it is. You're letting me know what your inspiration was, and then what different media types it comes on. Like, yes, that is hugely impactful. That's a fantastic way to sell.
So do you do that somehow? Is that connected through your page that you create, or is that?
It could be. Yeah.
We just do that.
Yeah, you just.
I have a Zoom group.
Yeah, essentially, like, normally the channels are usually that request comes in via email, or, you know, on Instagram you get a direct message. Hey, I want to talk to you about such and such, and I'm constantly encouraging my customers to do that. Right, like the natural default is like, hey, go to my website and you can do it yourself, self-serve, right? And I'm like, no. There is no better use of your time than getting on a video call and getting to know your prospective customers and buyers. That is a fantastic use of your time. Spend your time there, right? So that's kind of what we teach. But again, there's no one size fits all. There's going to be some people that want to go to your website and check out and just have it all taken care of and don't want to think about it. And that's great. And you've got a website for that. But if you can get on the phone with a buyer, that is a fantastic use of time. Absolutely.
So do you have, I heard somebody say that you have a way to help us find our niche.
Yes.
Do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
So, you know, most people think that like we're a technology platform, and we are a technology platform, but the easiest way for me to describe what we are is we are a graduate university that just teaches art and photography, business, and marketing. We have 9 Zoom classes like this one internally every single solitary week in, week out, teaching everything imaginable. We put all of our customers in Zooms like this. We teach a thing, everyone asks questions, and that's how we learn. So really, we're like a college. And so we have a niche finder course, which is quite in depth, that runs a couple of different times throughout the year. And you can go in there and figure out interesting ways to switch up your subject matter material and how to find audiences for the subject matter material and what that looks like and how to go about it and all of those things.
So there's like you have a list of those kind of videos that we can go in and find and research and listen to?
Yeah, there's the recorded ones, but they're also live. They're live sessions just like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every week. Every week,
Okay.
quite literally. Like, you know, it's one of the things that I'm most proud of because, you know, with most other companies, it's like you sign up, you get the website, and they're like, congratulations, good luck, right? And with us, you sign up, you get the website, we build it, and then we go, congratulations, you're about to be miserable for the next 3 to 5 years of your life as we have you in classes week in, week out, 50 weeks a year, right? But in all honesty, you know, I teach a class every single solitary week. The CEO's in there teaching a class. My head of growth marketing is in there teaching a class. Like, we teach classes on everything. We have to because the technology is changing all the time, right? Like how to run a sale, how to do email marketing, how to post on Instagram, how to go live on Instagram, how to do in-person fairs and shows, like all of it, right? Like the face-to-face is a big deal. It's a big deal.
So if I were to say I want to join you with what you're doing, what are you going to offer me? You're going to build me a website. You're going to give me classes. What else?
Yeah. In addition to that, like, you know, our technology instantaneously connects you to printers and merch. So when an order comes in, you get paid, the printer gets paid, the order packages, boxes, ships, and you don't have to touch anything, right? So there's the whole website, there's the whole back-end solution, there's a private Facebook group, there's the weekly meetings, there's Zoom support 5 days a week, where if you're stuck on something, you don't have to go and search a forum or get on a tech support call with someone way overseas. That's not true. Like a lot of them are overseas, but they have great accents and they're nice people. You jump right into a Zoom and you get your issue fixed. What I would do is, like, this is the meet and greet session. The next thing we do is what's called a demo. And a demo is basically they'll walk you through all the plans, all the packages, what everything looks like, show you the software, show you all the marketing stuff, show you everything. And I recommend you do that. You can either request one of those via one of our emails or our website, or I think on Wednesday and Friday this week, they're going to be running them this exact same time. So you can just pop in and see one, and they'll show you all of that stuff.
What is it called?
It's just called a demo. DEMO, demo, yeah.
So it's a demo on what you offer?
Yeah. The whole thing.
Okay. So how do I get the time for that?
So it's the exact same time this started on Wednesday and Friday. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. Wednesday. Andrea, are you going to run one on Thursday, by the way? Andrea's Canadian. They don't celebrate Thanksgiving until, when is Canadian Thanksgiving? It's like not for like a month or something.
No, it's in October, dude. It's long gone.
Oh, it's
October
long
12th.
gone. Oh, so they already had Canadian Thanksgiving. But yeah, you're actually not doing a demo. You just do your session. But yeah, I mean, there are, you know what I'll do, Charlotte? I will have somebody reach out to you. Juan, will you take her name and have somebody reach out to Charlotte and say, hey, here are your options for a demo? Okay. Wonderful.
Okay.
That's what
great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Charlotte.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, great questions. All right, Robert, you're up next. Go ahead, Robert.
Well, all honesty, I think Charlotte asked the question I was asking.
Oh, great.
But beyond the marketing training, which obviously we all need.
Yeah.
You're offering a storefront, I guess.
Yeah.
Lack of a better word. So somebody can order a print and you take care of it.
Yep.
you would also have ways of, you were talking about the tchotchkes, that
Yep. Very important.
trash and trinket
Yep.
business.
Yep.
You handle all of that
Yep.
also if we choose to do that.
Yep. No, you need to choose to do that. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
So it's not just marketing you're doing, you're also providing other services.
Yeah. I hate the word, but it's the whole business in a box.
Okay.
Is really what it is. We probably should just start calling it that, because then everyone's like, oh, it's a business in a box. Like, for the life of me, I think websites in today's day and age have become utter, total, and complete commodities. It's just the way that it works with software. And that's what we're known for still, is like the value proposition. And I'm like, no, wait, you guys, the website is just a commodity. It doesn't matter. Like, everything else is the whole ball game, right? And that's the greatest thing of what we offer, and we need to do a damn better job of articulating it. We're gonna get into it into Q1 to try and tighten up our messaging. But one of our biggest competitors, it's a Canadian company. I love it. It's called Shopify. It's not really a direct competitor. They're one of the biggest companies in the world, and it's just e-commerce software. Their stat in 2021 was the average store lasted 5 months. And the reason that they lasted 5 months is because none of those people solved the marketing problem, right? None of them solved. He's a German guy, Andrea, that immigrated to Canada. Okay, she's like, Canadians are smart. Name's Toby Lukey. Really smart dude. Anyway, the point is that everyone thinks they have a website problem, and no one has a website problem. You all have a marketing problem. All of us as SMBs, small, medium-sized businesses, all have marketing problems. And if you don't fix that, you don't have a business. So that's what we're solving to fix from day one, and that's what makes us utterly, totally, and completely different than everyone else.
Okay, so I likewise probably want to see a demo.
For sure.
So can I get added to that list?
Yep.
However that gets done.
Yep, we'll take care of it. Juan, you got him on there? Robert McDill?
Yep.
Alrighty. Thank you. Robert, we'll contact you.
All right, thank you.
Yep. I know we got to get better. Like, I sometimes shoot my mouth off that I don't care. I'm opinionated. Like, go to the website and fill out a form. Like, no one wants to fill out a damn form. No one has time for that. Just contact me. Follow up. Like we used to do back in the day. Right? Way more civil. Okay. Yep. Jaguar Rain's coming back in for round 2. If anyone else has any questions too, you guys can let me know. Go ahead, Jaguar. And you had a beautiful name, actually, which is not Jaguar Rain, which is not that I don't like saying Jaguar Rain, but what was your real name?
Kanaya.
Kanaya. Yeah, it's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
I'm changing Jaguar Rain in the thing to Kanaya.
Oh, I'm not.
I don't know if I spelled it right, but I would much rather see you as Kanaya than Jaguar Rain. Okay.
Well, because I did that because I have a court date. Okay, that's all.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's all. Okay. No, it's not Kanaya.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
she's gonna have to respell it. Well, I took a shot. I took a shot.
That's fine.
If it was Mike, I would have nailed it. Okay, but Kanaya is not exactly.
It is. That is.
Okay.
But I forgot to.
I rattled you, and you forgot your question.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Don't worry. You think about it. I'll take Amit's question, and then I'll come back.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Amit, you're up next.
Okay, I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can.
Excellent.
And what is
I was
Amit?
wondering-
Is Amit a Turkish name?
No, it's Israeli.
It's Israeli. Got it. Why am I thinking? Oh, I know why. That Ray Charles Amit, and that guy was Turkish in that movie. That's what I thought. Anyway, keep going.
Okay, I was wondering how affiliate networking, affiliate marketing gets in.
Yeah,
does it work?
For artists? I mean, I haven't seen too many instances of it personally that it really works because, the affiliate marketing is so hit or miss, right? Like there's certain products which it just doesn't work for, and I feel like art is not one of them. Now, if you were one of the huge influencers and you had art that everyone wanted on their wall and you were ripping off tens of millions of prints, could you probably get into affiliate marketing relationship? Yeah, you probably could, but I've not seen it be that successful in art of photography personally, like not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more question is, how do you deal with refunds policy when you do print on demand?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Dirty little secret coming. So So we partner with 2 printers. Okay, this is on the actual prints. So the art prints, the canvas, the metal, acrylic, all of that. These businesses are doing like it's Bay Photo on the West Coast, which is like the huge sexy brand name one, and then on the East Coast is one called Graphic Dimensions, and they're doing like $50 to $60 million each a year. So when something is damaged or something happens, they don't care. They're like, I don't need to see a photo. Don't send it back to me. A new one is on the way. And off it goes. Because it costs them more to try and have you photograph it, send them photos, or box it back up and ship it back. Like, they don't care. They factor in a certain amount of it. And so it's a great benefit from using a bigger partner where they're like, I don't care. I'll just ship you a new one, right? Like, you know, it's sort of an amazing thing. But I would say in addition to that, it happens very infrequently. You know, so it just really hasn't been an issue at all with our customers. Like, not at all. Like, over the 10 years, like, you know, occasional issue here or there, but it's pretty minimal. Pretty minimal.
So would it be like unwise not to offer a refunds policy?
No, you could spell it out. I think we have like blanket legalese somewhere that goes in your footer or goes somewhere, like our website that handles it already, the refund policy. But by and large, like it's not really been an issue. Like, it just doesn't happen for whatever reason. It just doesn't happen that much with art, you know? So that's what it's been so far.
Okay. Can I add like a few other questions?
Please go. So what's for?
Monthly costs, like of the whole thing, like both your system and like estimated monthly cost to start up.
Yep.
Like,
So
at cost.
Yeah, the way that it works is, think of it 2 ways. There's the whole technology piece, and you pay a monthly fee for that. And then there's the whole university piece, okay? You pay a one-time fee to get into the university, and you don't ever pay it again. You pay, depending on what version of the website you get, I think it's like $49, $59, $69 a month. And then depending on what package you come in on, I think the starting is like $1,500 or $1,600 or $1,700, but don't quote me on that directly. So that's what you're looking for. And where the university fee goes to pay for is you are literally supported a million ways to Sunday for the rest of your art selling life that you're with us. Like 5 days a week, you can get into a Zoom session with people, right? Multiple times a day, get your issues solved, 0 problems. There's obviously off-hour support, all the resources, all the bells, all the people that are going to be helping you for the rest of your life. So it's really, we have a lot going on the inside. But you need to see a demo too, so that you can see all the ins and outs and the bells and whistles. It's too hard to articulate on this session. This session is really just like, who are these people? Do they know what the heck they're talking about? You know, am I interested enough to see a demo? So that's why we do this. Yeah.
But it's framed pretty much. Like that's your cost.
Yeah.
What about like ad cost? Like for Instagram.
Early on, you're not going to be running any ads at all. I have a rather profound opinion on how to run ads for artists and photographers. Ads for artists and photographers don't work. The reason I know that they don't work is because I've never seen an artist that's doing it do it for more consistently than like 6 months, 9 months a year. No one, not one in my entire career. And the reason they all quit is because it doesn't work. What we do is we teach you to leverage print giveaways as ad costs. So let's say on your site now you've got mugs and you've got greeting cards or calendars, throw pillows, tote bags, whatever, and then you have small prints. Hey guys, this week only, I'm giving away this beautiful Kansas print of Positano. To enter to win, all you have to do is put your email in the box below. So what happens is that thing printed and shipped to cost you probably $67, maybe $87. Do you know what that $87 is? That is the cost of your ad. That is an ad cost. That's what it is. That's the profundity and all. And then what happens is, let's say you put that up on Instagram, you capture 125 emails. You shipped the product to the winner. When you announce the winner, you give a discount coupon to everyone else, and that's the loop. And then you just keep running it. And yeah, it works. It works crazy good. It works crazy good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one last question, which is probably very personal. Like, I'm on the move. I'm a digital nomad.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I need to have my business registered in the US in order to work with you.
No. I could care less where you register it. That is all your issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. Thank you.
Yep. It's actually like totally badass thing about the whole thing too, by the way, is the fact that you can truly be like, you know, people don't understand back in the day before POD, the print on demand was a thing, how damn hard this was to do, right? because you had to hold the inventory, you had to ship it yourself. Now, when you're doing the originals, are you an artist or a photographer, Amit?
Actually, both. Like back home, like I'm visiting the US back home and doing photography as a service, but I want to go into like art as a business, as a product business.
Yeah.
And print on demand seemed like wonderful, and I was
Oh,
looking
it's
for
got yeah,
solutions.
it's just amazing. Like, don't get me wrong. Okay, so if you're an artist and you create the original, okay, you still have to deal with that, right? Someone has got to get that thing boxed up and shipped it. There's no one that can help you do that. That's just how it is. But the fact that you can be anywhere in the world at any point in time, orders can come in, they can get printed, and they can get shipped. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to hold any inventory. And the fact that it now works on merch, it's awesome. It's awesome. No minimum orders. No stacking them up in your garage. Like what a phenomenal thing. Back in my day, dude, you had to do all of that all the time. It was brutal. Anyway, get a demo. Somebody's got to reach out to Amit too.
Wade called actually. Like I wasn't able to call him back.
Oh, someone called?
Yeah, someone called. Wade called.
Okay, yeah. So
I thought to call him again.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll tell whoever it is to call it again. Just put it in sales. But yeah, you can wanderlust to your heart's content. You can be anywhere at any point in time.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I see. It's Kania with the K. I see how it's spelled now. All right. I'm getting it. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, okay. So I'm doing Safazi,
Mm-hmm.
that, but then I do dance.
Okay.
Can I do?
Yes. Yes. By the way, the rest of everyone else is like, how the hell did he just know what she was talking about? Try me on for size. She has 2 niches, and she's wondering if she can do 2 different niches at the same time. Yes, the answer to that question is yes, you can. And the reason that yes, you can is because you are the brand just as much as the subject matter material.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, that's good. Something else something he told me. I forget. I remember. Then I'll call.
Yep. Don't worry. You raise your hand when you get it. I'll come back to you. All right, Robert, you're up next, and then Ken, I see your question in the chat. Don't worry, I'll answer. You'll need to unmute again, Robert.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it.
Okay. Obviously, we're in Q4.
Yeah.
Well into Q4.
Yes.
And if we wanted to start now, am I really working for 2024, or do I?
You're like, I don't ever like missing a shot. Okay. Ever, under any circumstances. The way I describe it is, it's like, because it's not even like I'm a big fisherman. I just like the fishing analogies. Like, if the tuna are offshore, you get your ass in the boat and you drive out there and you give it a shot, right? Because when they're gone, they're gone, and they're not coming back, and there's not a thing, you're not catching one any other time. So I would still want you to take a shot, and we have some strategies on that. But yes, you would be primarily building for 2024. Just knowing, like, how hard it is to get everything together. If you don't have an audience, it's all sort of academic, right? But if I were in your house right now, I'd be like, Robert, get all the work together that we have to sell. Okay, get all your friends and family on one email list. We're going to tell all of them you have work to sell. Blast that email and say, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, make me an offer. Let's go, giddy up, right? You at least take a shot, because it's like not even close. How impactful Q4 is insane. Like, we are just a consumer-driven society in the Americas. Like, we just are, and all that advertising just whips everyone into a frenzy, and everyone's spending more money. So it's a great time to take it. But there's a bunch of great times throughout the year. So don't be discouraged.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert.
That was my question.
Wonderful. Yeah, Ken is asking what apps are used to draw interested parties to our sites, and where does the content come from? Ooh, all the social media sites, all the ones that are important, which is really just Facebook and Instagram, and the content is going to come from you, and we're going to teach you how to generate it, because that's the only thing that works, quite literally. So there's no magic tricks or anything else. It is good old-fashioned marketing, and it is a grind, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it other than that. So that's the ballgame. That's how I'd answer that. All right, programming notes. I'm going to send all of you guys a follow-up email with all the bells, all the whistles, a recording of this thing. What else? What am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anything, Juan?
Yep, the Black Friday sale. I'm about to put that in chat.
Yep. Obviously, we follow retailing best practices, so we have a huge sale going on Friday ourselves. Black Friday sale, which is 0% transaction fees. Your first 60 days are on us. That's amazing. First month of marketing done for you, and a free website setup, which is normally $18.75. So we're having one of our craziest deals of the year on Friday because we like following the Black Friday playbook. So for sure, if you just found out about us, don't worry, we're not going anywhere. But if you're like on the fence, like you got to get a demo, you got to check it out, and you got to see what the deal is. So that's what I would say. Do we get the chat websites in the email? What are the chat websites? I don't understand, Robert. I'm just going to unmute you, and then I'll come back to Kenya. Go ahead. You got to unmute again, Robert. Juan, will you get Michelle C's?
Yep, I got it.
I want to go back to making that the new policy. Like if somebody says like, please, will someone reach out? No more forms. We will figure out a way to email you and get to you directly. Oh yeah, Michelle, you got to give Juan your last name, otherwise we won't be able to find you. Okay, Robert, go. You'll need to unmute. You were asking about chat something, and then Kenya.
No, it's just the different things, the blogs, the other websites, whatever they were. Do those all come in what you're sending back to us?
Yeah. Oh yeah, everything that I mentioned today, and yeah. That's all.
Okay.
In there. Yeah.
That was my question.
Okay, thanks. All right, Kenya, you're up. Go ahead. And then Joseph, I'll grab you. I know you have a question too. Yeah.
It's when you shit. I'm sorry. Okay.
No problem. You take your time as much as it takes.
The website. The website.
Yes, the websites. Yep.
Yeah. So I have a website.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not art.
Yes, you wouldn't need it. We provide a website. You can keep that other one if you want, but we're gonna give you a new one.
Thank you.
Yeah, gotcha, Kenya. Thanks. I can read her thoughts and answer the questions near immediately because I've been doing this 3 days a week for a long time. Joseph, do you want to ask me something? I know you turn the camera on. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey man, it's great to talk to you again. But yeah, so a Black Friday sale is going to be the zero
train fees. Yeah.
And then, but it'll be like $70 or $80 for the domain name and like $70 or $80 for the web hosting.
Yeah, I mean you've had a demo, you've had all the prices. So the serious new thing there is the 0% transaction fees. They do that to really spice things up sometimes.
0% transaction fees. Yeah, I had a offer one time where I didn't have to pay like the $1,800.
Yeah.
It was an intro, and then after I made so much money, then it would be paid.
Yeah. We're like any other business.
I don't know if you're going to be running that again or not.
Yeah, I don't know either. I try to stay out of their world to the best of my ability. I got enough problems in the marketing department, Joseph. Let me just tell you, Instagram changing things on me daily.
Correct on the marketing end of it. It's all marketing. You can have a website, but if you don't do the marketing part of it, then your website's not going to go anywhere.
No, it's like oh, I have a website. Yeah, is it a crappy website, an okay website, or the nicest website on the planet? It's the nicest website on the planet. Oh, great. So you have a restaurant with no diners inside of it. Nobody cares. Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah. Thanks for everything today because it's awesome. You went over a lot for everybody.
Yeah, appreciate it. And I know you sent me a couple of emails. Like when I respond to an email, you got lucky because the sheer volume of stuff in there, there's thousands.
You are bombarded.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you even check them because you get bombarded. Your email list is probably like, whoa.
Yeah, it's out of control. But with the name like yours, you don't forget it, right? Joseph's you came on here what, like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, even maybe.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years now, and I still haven't had the money yet. It's been rough.
Here. Yeah. I know how it is, but keep learning and keep working on the marketing.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Joseph. All right, guys. It's been a great session today, but I talked myself out of gas, and my dog is barking at me, which usually means I've got to get to getting. So I will send you guys an email. You can reply to the email. I think the email is going to come from Randall because that's the way our system's working today. He constantly renames me. He's a tyrant. I'm going to have words with him after this, actually. But I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. To everyone that is Canadian and or Andrea or everyone else, happy Thanksgiving. Okay. I hope you all have a wonderful time with family, friends, or whatever you're doing. For the Canadians, and just enjoy a good week of whatever you do, Andrea. Enjoy just a nice day where the whole rest of the world is off. Okay, fine. We have fun on here. Okay, you run these things all the time. You gotta have a little fun. Everyone that we said will follow up. I'm gonna send you all the awesome resources. I hope you guys learned some stuff. I hope you found it enjoyable. Try to get a sale in the water for Black Friday. Even if you like open the garage and put a sign out there that says like Black Friday sale with the art on an easel, that counts. That counts. We're still taking a shot, you know, because otherwise no one knows. Like we got to take shots, guys. We got to take shots. Have a great rest of your day.